set up in a little like ground blind. We're in the same area that Bud and Buck walked up to me when I was hanging my stand. But when we got to this piece of public, like there was a big deer that was in the field right next to the road. Like big deer, it's bigger than the one we saw last time. Had more mass. So it ended up spooking because it saw us. So we went down to the edge of the field figuring where I would go into bed. And we sat there for an hour probably waiting to see if he'd come back because he never blew or anything. He just trotted away. And we never ended up seeing him, so we left. And then we got into the other field where we saw those bunch of does last time we were in here. Last time we were on this piece of public. And there was a nice looking 6-point that I was shocked because, I mean, it's public land, so I don't really, if I can use my early bow tag down here still, I'd use it on any buck pretty much. But, so we saw him and I got all ready and we walked up and tried to get closer to him and he ended up just going into the woods and we never saw him. So we trekked back into here again. Set up. Sure the branch is right nearby so you can't see him. And then his uncle is hunting about like 200, 300 yards to our right. Way down over there. And he said that he thinks there's a hot doe in there. Into that bedding in that little field thing open. That they come up from my left. But yeah. Hopefully see you guys in a little bit with some deer in front of me. Hunter just texted in the group chat and said he saw a big buck. Said it wasn't a monster, but it was a decent buck. I'm gonna try to doe bleed. Bleeded. I don't know where it is, so said it must have been pretty low. So I don't like hunting with a quiver. Should take it off. There. Okay, I'll turn you guys off again. I know this is jumpy, but I'm sorry. So, hopefully I catch up with you guys in a little bit with a deer in front of me, or with good news that somebody shot something. So see you then. We gotta get out of the tree now. An 8-pointer walk up to him. Because he's working back up towards that field. No, definitely not. Oh my goodness. Guys, I'm so mad at myself. I'm so mad at myself. So mad at myself. So mad at myself. I know I would have made a good shot on that deer too. I should have taken it, but there's private over there and he was heading towards private. If he would have been walking this way, I sure would have just taken the shot because he had no idea I was here. And if I would have taken that shot when he was walking this way, he would have wheeled right back around and went right back where he came from. But I'm going to get a lot of crap in the comments. I know I didn't get any film of him. Big 8-point. Just probably like 2.5, 3-year-old 8-point. Decent deer. I look up and I just see a rack. I'm like, oh. So I'm like trying to put my phone in my pocket and he's looking over at me. So I just threw it in my coat pocket. And I'm like, okay, he's at 20 yards. Turn the camera on. Just face it in that general area. There's no time I have because he's working. I don't know if he's searching for does or what, but he was working. So then I go to draw back. I'm like, he's at 20. He's at 20. I'm telling myself that. And then I'm like, there's no way he's at 20. So I click my release off. Range him. He's at 30 yards exact. 30 on the dot. That whole trail was 30 on the dot. And I knew that the private markers were right there. So I'm like, well, I can shoot him in that opening. And he should veer right or left, veer left, and just go towards that ridge on public. So I went to go draw back, and he starts moving, and I move the camera a little bit, and then I draw back, and I have one opening, and I'm like, I can take that shot. I can take that shot. But I couldn't make myself do it. Like, if I were comfortable, I would have been drawn back, I would have shot, because he was stopped. But like I said, I didn't feel comfortable, so I let down. I wasn't really fully drawn back. I was just like this. And then I let down, and he starts working the other way, so I grunt at him, and he sort of looks back at me. But then the wind is really swirly down here, so I think that's why he left. He just got a whiff of me. So then he just keeps moving off, and at that point I knew he's not coming back. That's the thing. He walked in downwind. He's walking in downwind of these bedding areas. Because the does right now, they don't really want to breed. But anyway, he's walking downwind. So I sprayed some of that stuff, and the wind was blowing directly where he is. Like I can't see him anymore, but I watched him walk away. I know what trail he went on. It wasn't a giant. It was not like a 4-year-old or 5-year-old, but it was 2.5, 3-year-old. I give him. He had white antlers. Pretty decent spread. Most of you guys, if you would have saw the deer, you would be like, "Oh, that's not that big. Don't shoot it." But again, I'm on public land. I was going to shoot a 3-pointer yesterday. Well, I got to calm down, because very well could be another buck coming. My scent was all obviously still on it, but he crossed my scent trail because I walked perpendicularly to the trail that he walked on. So he could have easily smelled me and just turned around like then. So I don't think he smelled me then. I think it was windy enough. It blew my scent out of here. But he was still downwind of the bedding areas. I think the wind just swirled and he got a whiff of me. I had all that stuff going through my head, and then I was like, well, if I make a bad shot and I don't know where I hit, I don't have the camera on him to see that. And if the neighbor, the private dude, if he doesn't let me go look for that deer, it died on his land. And I was just like, I overthink a lot. Hunter got a shot last night and he missed, but there was so many things that could have happened. Could have hit a branch, deer. He said the deer was like at an angle, so when he shot, it could have just went right over his back. Because the deer, Hunter paced it out after, and it was 17 yards. He used his 20-yard pin, and if the deer was at a slope, like, it could have went over him. He knows he didn't hit him, but there's just so many things. I don't know. But hopefully somebody gets a deer down. So, like I said, I'm going to shut up. I just talked a lot in this area. Obviously a good spot. Cruising bucks. Good spot. So, I'm sorry. I know I messed it up, but yeah. See you guys in a little bit, hopefully.